Hello, everyone, and welcome to BAASSTalk. My name is Aaron Dela Cruz. I'm the digital marketing specialist for Bass Business Solutions. We're just here to talk about anything business related, any business concepts, any business strategy. It's really just anything that would help you to get your business off the ground and running. Today, we're going to talk about business intelligence. Me, myself, I know a bit about it, but it'd be nice to know a little bit more and help you guys to get a little bit educated yourselves. So, with that, I brought an expert here with us. So if you could just introduce yourself.
Well, welcome everyone. My name is James Tang. I'm the BI practice leader here at Bass Business Solutions. I've been with the organization approaching 25 years come April 5th. So I've been with the organization for quite some time and be sort of responsible for the business intelligence practice for the last 5 to 6 years.
So as you can see, James has a little bit of experience here, so hopefully he can shed some light on this concept. So without further ado, I just want to know, what is business intelligence?
Thanks, Aaron. I mean, if you think about it, there are really, really many different definitions of business intelligence, but I've been doing this presentation over and over again. So the one that I've been using for quite some time in my presentations, and it's a relatively easy one to understand, I hope, is that business intelligence is really the technology that transforms raw data into meaningful and useful information for business purpose, right? So if you think about it, it is the collection, analysis, and integration of data, right? With the goal really is to help companies to make better informed decisions and to provide timely, accurate, and actionable information into their operations, right? Customers, markets, and really the competitive landscape.
Okay, perfect. As anyone with a business should know, you get a lot of data throughout your business days, throughout your fiscal year, and it's not always easy to make sense of it all. Who might this business intelligence be for?
Excellent question. So let me ask you a question, Eric. Who wouldn't want valuable information that could help them make better business decisions, right? So if you think about it, in all seriousness, BI application is pretty much sort of applicable across all industries. So I'm just going to share it with a few, right? Let's just start with probably everyone's favorites, right? Retails and distribution. So if you think about it, retailers really leverages BI to analyze sales information, right? Sales by customer, sales by item, sales by territory, sales by salesperson. So fundamentally, right, if you think about it, the underlying data is really the same, but BI provides that ability to quickly slice and dice the information, to transform that quickly from customers to salespeople, right? And it also empowers them to track on-time delivery for customer service and inventory levels. So having the ability to quickly pinpoint, right, the source of delay and to improve customer satisfaction, and also, right, to identify overstock, stock out, right, and profitability by products. So it doesn't make much sense if you keep on selling a lot of something or widgets, but you're losing money, right? So BI can provide valuable data to companies to make sure that they understand customer behavior, purchasing patterns, right? And to optimize pricing strategies and identify trends to enhance the overall customer experience. Example number two is government and public sector, right? Not-for-profits. We have a lot of clients in the not-for-profit sector, and they tend to use BI, right, to improve service delivery, right, by cost center, by campaign, by project, and make sure that they allocate resources efficiently and to analyze demographic data and to track performances. And the last one is healthcare. And we also have a lot of clients in the healthcare industry. So if you think about it, BI can help them, right, to improve patient care, right, manage resources efficiently, right, and to analyze critical outcomes and metrics, but more importantly, to comply with regulatory requirements. So in our case, in our area, right, regulatory requirements such as OHRS reporting and passport reporting is something that we leverage BI to help our clients greatly, so that to minimize the manual sort of report data gathering, right? And these are just few examples. If you think about it, pretty much all industries, banking, finance, manufacturing, telecom, hospitality, so on and so forth, they could all benefit from BI. But this is at a higher level, right? So let's dive in the deeper level to say, okay, now we know that all these industries can benefit from BI, but what about within the company, So I'm just going to keep it very simple, right? Let's just start with business analysts. So if you think about it, business analysts are the troops, right? That essentially gathers the information, uncover trends, and generate actionable insights that supports decision making across the company. So they do data mining, number crunching, auditing, and go through tons and tons of information, essentially to repackage that data for different users within the organization. And one of those users really, you could call it department, cost center, or budget managers. So mid-tier managers uses BI to really track the performance of their team, right? To allocate resources effectively, and more importantly, to make sure that they can use that information to improve within their team, right? And if you think about it, budgeting and forecasting allows them to do that, okay, and to run their day-to-day operations. But ultimately, right, the information that is presented and packaged for the executives, the board of directors, or even the external users such as banks, bankers, or investors, right? CFO and CEO don't want to see pages and pages of raw data, right? They rely on BI in the form of dashboards, KPIs, simple but effective tools, right, to gain insight into their business. And more importantly, they rely on that information to make strategic decisions that drives the company. So if you think about it overall, business intelligence is designed to serve all industries and pretty much all users within a company.
Okay, that's perfect. I mean, you did shed a lot of information on all these different sectors and why it's important to them, but do you have kind of like a summary just to explain like why it matters?
Absolutely. I mean, it matters for a variety of reasons, right? Because it provides insight, right? Allow the company to make informed decisions, right? It absolutely can improve operational efficiency. I don't think anyone would actually want to manually key in information and calculate the formula, so on and so forth. And by having that information, it allows companies to plan, right? To make strategic plans to make sure it aligns with the company goals. And it provides insight to customers, right? I think depending on the industry, customer satisfaction is key. Customer loyalty is key. So by having business intelligence or BI tool, it will provide that insight into your customers. And furthermore, it should provide competitive advantage, right? I think before business intelligence was a luxury, but more and more so that it's almost become a necessity. Now, I mean, I think we can still have that competitive edge, but I think eventually it would just be stay on par with your competitors. But also we want to make sure that we have all the information to mitigate our risk. Okay. And lastly, right, we talked about it a little bit earlier, compliance reporting, right? Certain regulatory bodies require information in a certain way, and having business intelligence can repackage that information for you quickly. I think that's the key. Efficient and timely. And lastly, right, it empowers your employees, meaning that they have access to relevant data that they could do their job more efficiently. And, who will want to manually enter information over and over again and month after month. So these are basically some of the reasons why, it's business intelligence is critical, right, in any organization.
Oh, makes perfect sense. I was wondering, with all this business intelligence and all this insight that you could give into businesses, where should a business start with this?
Great question, Aaron. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, BI, the process of selecting a BI solution really is no different than selecting an ERP solution or any other business applications, right? So, I mean, finding the right solution can greatly impact success of a company. So first and foremost, you need to define the goals and requirements, right? Be realistic, right? Identify, right, the pain points of your organization and what problems you're trying to solve, right? So that you basically set a target for what you're looking for within a solution, right? And from there, you really need to take a hard look at your internal resource, right? Doesn't matter if you get an enterprise solution, but, we don't have the staff to be able to leverage or take advantage of that solution. So assessing internal resource and expertise is something that we need to go through. And basically research the BI solutions, right? What are you looking for? You're looking for basic reporting, right? Or you're looking for self-service, you're looking for enterprise level, cloud-based versus, on-prem solutions. So these are sort of the first steps that you need to sort of assess, and then that determines the path, because then you take a look at the functions and features within that BI solution, right? I mean, reporting is a given, right? But what about data visualization, dashboards and KPIs? Before, those were luxuries, but now this pretty much is all sort of necessities, right? And ad hoc reporting, right? How easy is it for users to make their own reports, right? Predictive analytics. Do we have mobile access, right? Do we need to integrate or tap into other data sources such as CRM, ERP, right? And what about data warehouse, right? So you need to evaluate all of these components to say, hey, what do we need, right? But that view needs to be sort of, a vision, because you don't want to say, hey, I want this just for today. But so you also need to consider, right, the scalability and the flexibility, right? Investing in a BI solution should be a long-term objective. So yes, whatever you're embarking on might say, hey, this is a bit much for me today. But what about 2 years, 5 years, right? So you need to consider the scalability and the flexibility of the solution, right? And, security, right? Having a BI solution, especially in a not-for-profit world, we know that, as much as we want to share the information may be sensitive to the stakeholder. So whether it's by department, whether it's by cost center, right? Security is something that's critical. And lastly, I think this is perhaps, the most critical is the overall investment of this particular solution. And it's not just the upfront cost, right? You need to look at the ongoing maintenance, right? What does it take to train your staff and continue or provide continued education to your staff, and any potential hidden costs, right? And I think at the end of the day, right, cost benefit is something that you should go through and say, okay, well, it's going to cost me X, but it's going to provide me Y benefit. And even though it's above my budget or expensive, but I do believe that this provides overall value. Okay, so by following these various steps, right, I think any company can effectively navigate a process of selecting a business intelligence or any other business application solutions.
No, that's perfect. Where would you go from there? I've heard terms like budgeting, forecasting. So could you shed some light on what those two might mean for business intelligence?
Absolutely. I mean, in looking at any solution, right? So you really have to sort of stay focused in your goals, right? More and more today, budgeting, the BI solution will have component of budgeting and planning, but you have to be realistic that it is BI first and then planning, forecasting. So if your primary focus really is budgeting and forecasting, there are absolutely wonderful applications out there that specifically focus on budgeting and forecasting, right? And it has a component of reporting. So really, depending on your starting point, okay, but I mean, let's just quickly go through, right? I mean, if you talk about budgeting and forecasting, they're two closely related but distinct financial planning process used by companies to manage their finance and to make informed decisions about future operations. So budget involves setting financial targets. I think we're all familiar with process, right? Typically, it's done on an annual basis. And really, the primary purpose is to sort of plan and control expenses, manage cash flow, right? And ultimately to achieve the financial goals, right? And it also serves as a roadmap for achieving your objectives, right? And really can be used to evaluate performances. Now, forecast, on the other hand, is essentially, right, a process of making predictions or estimates about the future based on past and present data patterns, right? And it also involves analyzing historical data, identifying patterns and trends, and then use various sort of methods, right, to project those patterns and trends into the future. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Budgeting and forecasting, they're time-consuming process. Okay, companies typically establish a master or a main budget at the beginning of their fiscal year, and usually is on an annual basis, with sort of monthly breakdowns. Okay. And based on resource availability, right, company may reforecast on a quarterly or monthly basis. So often you will see a rolling profit and loss statement with actuals and forecasted data for that fiscal year. The final takeaway is regardless of the size of your business, right? There's never too small or too large. There's variety of solutions across the board, entry level that would just get you going. Again, think about, right? A BI solution entails many different components. Plan it out where you are today, where you're going to be 2 to 5 years, right? And then that's when we talked about, scalability, so on and so forth, right? Start small. If you plan properly, you could start small and then leverage the same solution sort of for many, many years to come.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, that's all the questions I really had. Again, I thank everyone for tuning in to Bass Talk. Like, we're talking about anything business that will help you with your business. So if you ever had any questions, if you ever had anything that you wanted us to discuss, or if you ever want to talk to James, I'll leave his info down below. And again, thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.